Hi everyone, Sheena here. Today I will be talking about a bit of my mission statement that I have for myself and configuring and creating a mission statement for yourself in your life. And why would you want to do that? Uh, I think many different reasons. That last topic that we talked about was intention. And I think setting the intention and stage for your life is huge, but even just for your short term or your long term goals, it's really helpful to put that attention out there in the format of an affirmation, in the format of a vision or a mission statement for yourself. So you just doesn't have to mean you have a business or you have a big life goal or you have a creative endeavor that you're working on. Although this works really well for those things, it could be simply something that you're inviting more of into your life, like healthy relationships and basically a mission statement towards that, and actually writing it down, putting it somewhere where you see it to remind yourself to consistently integrate that practice into your life. And over time, and sometimes it takes a while because when we put that information out into the world as we're sort of waiting for it to come back, there's all these little steps that we didn't realize we had to take to get there. So I'll use mine as an example, and you'll read it on my website. You might hear me say it here and there, but mine for myself, the intention for myself, for my lifestyle, and for the lifestyle and mindset that I am working to help others achieve, I like to say, I live in harmony by doing what I'm blessed with in exchange for a life that fulfills me. So for me, that is all about curating a life that allows me to live to my most true self. And I'm careful with that because I know we say highest self a lot of times. And I don't want us to believe that being our highest selves means that we have to be this perfect, you know, beings that don't make mistakes, that don't do anything wrong. That is not what this is. That's not what any of this is about. I think we have to keep kind of digging in with that concept. Yes, we want to be better and, like, treat ourselves right, treat our family right, treat our friends right, treat our relationships right, treat the planet right, get us into a place of health and wellness. And yeah, that's always there as a blanket, to kind of encompass everything that we're talking about. However, we're going to make mistakes. We're not going to get it right. We're going to take 2 steps back, 5 steps back, 10 steps back. We're going to fall into addictions. We're going to have unhealthy patterns. We're going to meet unhealthy people for us. We're going to be unhealthy people for other people. That's all part of it. Like, that's okay. Like, I really, really want that to be understood. I really want that to be something that we accept and we learn about ourselves, because that is really important to me to know that I'm not talking, when I say highest self, I'm not talking about being this all knowing wise sage or this god or this angelic being. I think that's such an ideal in this world, and we're so human, and there's so much here for us. It just being a little bit more clear and more honest and true is going to get us into these healthier places. And that's sort of the bridge that I live on in my work and who I am and what I do. So remember that. That's super important. So I do say highest self, but when I say highest self, it's not like highest righteous godlike self. It's just, what works best in our life. And that leads me to something I've been thinking about today. And a lot about my work, a lot about what I've done for myself and what I do for others is about the best configuration to support that self that you see yourself like wanting to live in. So, what configuration works for you? And I take that holistic approach, right? Looking at all the different like avenues of your life to get you to that best configuration for yourself. And that is different for every person, right? And it changes throughout our life. And like I said, when we're setting an intention, even if it's just for a short-term goal, once we reach that short-term goal or we're living in that experience, then at that point it might be time to reconfigure and to set some out for something else. I was recently sharing with someone, and I did this in my yoga training, and then I did it again in my life coaching school, is that I set these code of ethics and a code of standards for myself. And yeah, I can't always live up to them, the standards I set for myself or the ethics I set for myself. However, I go back, I reconfigure them, I make them make more sense for my life. And that's going to be a lifelong practice for me, just like setting these sort of visions for ourselves will always be a lifelong practice. When I get to that space and I'm living in it, it's already integrated in me. Now it's becomes a part of my lifestyle. So maybe that's not what I need to be my vision anymore. Maybe my vision shifts, and maybe I need to reset that vision and then come up with like a new statement. But for this practice and for this tool today, I think just take some time, shut off the video, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and ask yourself, what am I trying? What do I want right now? What do I want to invite into my life? What is my vision for my life? And that could be near or far. And write it down. Write it down. See what comes up. See what blockages come up. See why it's hard to write it down. See if it's easy to write it down. See if it gets you excited when you write it down. And then make it pretty. I like to, I've made a vision board for myself. I've done a lot of like cutesy things with markers, and I'll write it somewhere nice. So, there's not just like random scribble on my wall, or type it up, do something nice, and then put it somewhere that you can see it regularly to remind yourself, to keep working that practice, to keep reminding yourself what you're bringing into your life. And that goes right into our intention work. If you didn't see my video from last week, that's about intention. And that is what that's about. Like the science behind intention, that when we and it's the law of attraction. If you're into that framework, that's exactly what that is. It's just that you're looking for all the things to work for that vision, for that statement, for that thing that you're trying to achieve. So instead of going about your daily life, sort of life coming at you, you're going at your life with this sort of filter of, here's my visions right now, here's my goal right now, here's what I want to invite into my life. And then you're looking for it. And that's the way the brain works. And it works. It's a practice that if you work it, it works. I 100%, 125, 300% am telling you that is the way that works. And you got to try it. It's not positive thought implementation. It's not just being, this unrealistic person. It really is inviting this into your life. And if it takes long, it's probably because there's a lot of stuff in the way to get there. And I'll notice that. And this is why I'm sharing this with you today, because on my vision board, I had something written down, something else. And I really wasn't expecting it to all of a sudden, show up the way it did in my life. And I realized, oh, now I see all those blockages, like all those practices I was doing, I was consistently doing them to get that stuff removed so that I can be open to that vision, to that reception, to what it was I was inviting into my life. And it took a long time since I wrote that down till now. It's been over a year, and it was there was a lot of blockages to get to those places. And when you finally see something come to fruition, it's really miraculous. But when you look down and you break it apart, you'll see that, like, oh, there were all these steps I took and I just didn't realize. You ask the question, you put it out there. It can be spiritual, it could be scientific, or it could just be. However you want to look at it is really fine. It doesn't matter. It just works. So that is what I have to you. It's about the best configuration to support your truest self. And how are you getting there? And what are you writing down? What visions do you have? What missions do you have to get there? Are you communicating them to yourself? Are you talking to yourself about it? Are you writing it down? Are you sharing it so that you can see it daily? So it's going in, back out, being projected. And how do you do that? And how can you do that more? All right. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, for being here and watching these. Have a beautiful day.